Stay tuned for the biggest fish, the hottest bites, this week here on In-Depth Outdoors. With James Holst and Pat McSherry and the rest of the IDO fishing team. We're headed to the best fisheries across the upper Midwest and Canada. We'll fish longer, explore unfished bodies of water, and go further off the beaten path in search of the hottest bites in fresh water. This is In-Depth Outdoors.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of In-Depth Outdoors. I'm James Holst, and I would imagine by this point in the winter season, just about every ice angler across the ice belt is going through the same set of emotions that we are. Snow's piling up, we haven't had a warm day in a long time, and the winter really feels like it's dragging on. So to help us cope with what feels like a winter that's never going to end, we started to look to destinations further south, places we've never fished that have warmer temperatures and a lot less snow. So that brings us to the Sandhills region of Nebraska. We're going to be fishing with Steve Gildersleeve. And what's really interesting about this area to me is, as I was getting into ice fishing, this was an area that received a lot of publicity from likes of Dave Gentz and the In-Fish crew. And it really stuck in my imagination and memory as a destination I needed to visit someday. So stick around, we're headed to Valentine, Nebraska to fish the Sandhill regions here today on In-Depth Outdoors. We're right up in the reeds.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that really interested me about this is when you were telling me that these crappies act like walleyes.
Absolutely.
So come up shallow. How shallow are we right
This
here?
is our structure. This will be 4 foot, 3.5 foot, 5 foot on the deepest. Get out in the basin a little ways, it's going to drop out to about 6 to 8 foot at the most.
I'll get flashers ready. If you want to grab a couple of rods, we'll get going.
Okay. Yeah, here comes the fish in. Better mark. Well, that looks better.
Oh, fish. Feels like a bluegill. Nope, crappie.
What do you got going on here, James?
I don't know. A little bit of crappie load. That's a
It's
decent
okay.
first try, huh? I can tell by the look on your face that you're like, it's decent.
It's a decent fish. 11,
Nice.
12 maybe?
Yeah. Heck of a start as far as I'm concerned.
Great
So
crappie.
lots of 14 and up.
14, 15 and bigger, yeah. So even this, the fish is what, 12 inches long, how thick it is across the back there.
Absolutely. Great
They're-
colors, really clean fish.
They're eating very well.
Best part about fishing crappies out of really shallow water. Back they go. It's a good start.
Great
Thank
fish,
you.
James.
Just keeping it super simple to start here. Fishing a tungsten fly, gold head, kind of a brown body to it. Throwing a couple spikes on it. So super simple. Very shallow water, very clear water. And with these high skies, we're not expecting these fish to be incredibly aggressive. That might change throughout the course of the day, but to start this morning, definitely. What I'm seeing on my flashers, those fish just kind of come up real slow. They'll eyeball it. They just basically put that mouth around the bait versus just kind of coming up and slamming it. So maybe later on today we'll get more aggressive, but right now finesse is the word. I just had 2 more come through about the same size. There he is.
Going to work on them
Not
over
a
there.
big one. Oh, I am wrong. That is a really good crappie. Woo! Look at that.
Great fish, James.
That is a stud.
That's the type of fish we come to the Sandhills for.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a giant. That's 14 and a half, 15 inch
15, and then just thick across the
fish.
back.
Thick. Wow,
just
what a fish.
eating very well.
You know what that is? That's where minnows go to die, right there. Steve, that thing's just a stud. I am so
Absolutely.
impressed. I mean, that is pushing pound and 3/4, would you say?
Absolutely.
Later, buddy.
Scaring 2 pounds.
I like these handshakes. Good things just happened.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you, my hand is cold now.
Absolutely. But great reason for your hand to be cold. I
Right.
want my hands to be cold.
All right, so what we're doing here, fishing the bullwhip. In my opinion, when it comes to panfish, this is Tuned Up Custom's best rod. It's very versatile. They kind of call it a hybrid rod. It's not that real soft, true noodle, but then it's got some backbone to handle these larger fish. And as you saw there, it really put the whoop on that 15-inch crappie. Real sensitive. You had enough backbone to handle the largest panfish you're ever going to hook into. So definitely one of my favorite rods to fish with. And you know what? I love it when the spikes stick on the hook so I don't have to replace it, because my fingernails right now, I can feel my pulse in them. Woo.
Spikes are way more versatile than waxies, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't like waxies very often.
StrikeMaster introduces the new Lithium 40 volt. Everything you've ever wanted in an ice auger. With a 40% increase in cutting speed over the competition and up to 100 holes per charge, the Lithium 40 volt has the power and stamina you need, and the 2-amp rapid charger that can bring a fully discharged 40-volt battery pack to a full charge in as little as 2.5 hours. The new Lithium 40 volt, only from StrikeMaster.
Otter, the leader in quality and innovation, is opening doors with the release of the all-new Crossover Series ice shelters. All crossover shelters convert from traditional front door entry to convenient side door entry and back again in seconds. Otter, the toughest, strongest, smartest, and now most versatile shelter on ice.
From the first time you pick up a tuned-up custom rod, you'll know you're holding something special. A rod not mass-produced, but built one at a time by the hands of gifted craftsmen. Rods like the Precision, ice fishing's most versatile multi-species rod, or the Precision Noodle with a tip so sensitive you'll never fish a spring bobber again. And the Commander, the rod that's never met a big fish it couldn't best. Tuned-up custom rods. Ice rods handcrafted for you and the way you fish.
This winter, set a trap for your next trophy with iFish Pro. Ideal for all species, iFish Pro is an innovative fishing system that allows an angler to use their favorite rod and reel instead of trying to manage the fish hand over hand. Complete your ice fishing arsenal with iFish Pro, tactical ice gear that puts the fight back into tip-up fishing.
Look at that.
Find iFish Pro online at ifishpro.com or at your favorite sporting goods retailer.
There he is. Oh, I got the runt. Oh, there's just a huge mark down there. That's it's a gill. Probably about, I'm gonna guess 7 inches, 7.5 inches.
Did that bluegill cut in front of that big crappie,
He
James?
did. The crappie's still down there though. I'll take him. We'll spread the love around. I'd love to see one of those 11-inch sandhill monsters. But man, what a crappie. That's the way to start it out.
I've had really good luck, James, jigging up a foot or two off the bottom, and the big crappies almost always are gonna come in cruising. I'll never say never, but you're almost never gonna catch a bluegill, a small bluegill up high like that.
Really? All
There you
bottom.
go.
Hello, buddy. That's another one of those 11, 12s. See, back home, I'm doing a happy dance about fish like this, you know?
I'm not even gonna go running over there, James.
Hey, there's room.
Let's see what you got.
Nice looking fish, I'd take that any day. Obviously, we're in a pretty special part of the world here as far as fish size go, but you are right. The thickness across the back tells me everything I need to know about the health of the fishery.
Absolutely.
They're eating good.
Absolutely.
Really good. All right, back you go.
It's a special, special lake, special region.
What'd you say, 1,200 lakes like this?
Yeah. So most of them don't have names. A lot of them are private. They're in guys' fields that
Right.
some of them don't even know what kind of quality fish they have living in their own backyard.
So, you know, you've got some that are just, public access. You got other ones that, just knock on doors and ask.
Absolutely, yeah. You can. There's a lot of good people out in the Sandhills.
Love it. I am really looking, I'm not gonna, you know, stop catching fish because my fingers are cold, but I wouldn't mind gloves on both hands for a while.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you, sir.
You got a good hole.
Yeah, move in anywhere you want.
Well, I think I'm kind of in the same program you are. I'm in the same line. I mean,
I didn't mark fish here right away. I was remember I said I was about ready to move.
Yes, sir.
And I had just one fish come in, and then I've kind of been busy since. There's a fish.
Good one?
Pretty good one, yep. I got a big one.
There you go.
Look at this thing. Now that was one that just came in. I get no credit for catching this fish because literally I was jabber-jawing at you and my rod just went thunk. That's not quite as big as that first one of mine, but it's a stud.
That's a great fish.
I mean, I got big paws and what a fish. All right, I'm gonna fire that guy back. Look at that fish. That's an 8-inch hole. And pretty much from fins to belly, he fills it right up. Goodbye, fish. All right. Loving it. I love the handshakes. The guy that catches the fish needs the warm handshake, you know, from the guy that comes over. Woo!
Good fish, James?
Not as gigantic as some, but pretty decent. That one come in about 2 foot off the bottom. Definitely the highest flyer at the start of an interaction. Super crappie.
Double up, James.
Yeah! First time for that. Show me up. Get one of them giants.
That is a huge fish, James.
Yes! That thing is a giant. It's got a dolphin tail. Dude, that's amazing. Huge fish. That's gotta be pushing 15 and a half, 16 inches.
That's close to 16. Colors are just amazing.
This is a wonderful little corner of the world you found here, bud.
Get him back.
Here you go. Yeah, there's my warm hand for you. I'm sure yours is barking now.
It's an amazing fish.
I haven't caught crappies of this caliber. You know, you'll one or twosie, you know, on a good day, you'll get a couple over 14 on a real good body of water. We've got 4 over 15, 3 or 4 over 15 so far.
Yes, sir.
And the sun's barely above the horizon.
It's gonna be a good day.
Off to a good start, yes.
Off to a great start.
Lithium Shuttle, only from Markham Technologies. Okuma Fishing Tackle offers a complete lineup of reels for the die-hard ice angler. The Okuma Samar 10 and Inspira 20 are a perfect match with your favorite panfish or walleye ice fishing rod. Both feature a long stem handle that fits comfortably in a gloved hand. Cyclonic flow rotor technology that throws water off the reel to minimize ice buildup. And a drag system optimized for use in extreme conditions. Everywhere, every day, every fish. Okuma Fishing Tackle is inspired fishing.
At Aluma, we make the longest-lasting, most dependable enclosed trailers on the road today. By building quality our competition just can't match. Our all-aluminum construction gives you a heavy-duty but lightweight trailer that can handle your tough hauls. Aluma trailers are engineered for ease of use, with you in mind. All backed by our unbeatable 5-year warranty. Work or play, get there. With Aluma, we're in it for the long haul.
One thing James and I are doing to get a little better hookup percentage to these bigger fish, we're using these really small baits. And with small baits comes really small hooks. And so we're taking our hemostats and we're modifying this hook angle just slightly. We're opening it up so that our hookup percentage is a lot more consistent. We're a lot better chance of hooking those big fish when we widen that hook gap just a little bit. I'm gonna try going shiny, James.
Did you go to a silver?
That head that almost has that kind of bluish, purplish,
Oh, sure, yep.
green body, just kind of with this bright sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what that does.
I'm stubborn. I'm going to stick with the gold. There he is. Ooh, look at this. Come here, you.
Oh man.
I tell you what, that was like painful how long it took to get that fish to eat. Just kept making these bum rush charges up on it and just wouldn't put it in his mouth. Finally won out. Look at that, folks. I mean, that is way longer than a 14-inch crappie and just thick. I'm telling you, this is a special body of water in a really cool part of the country if you're an ice angler. What I love about fishing crappies like this in this shallow water is, you just don't have to worry about bringing them up out of the depths. I mean, they just release, they're just full of it, still green. All right, incredible, incredible area. First time here. I grew up reading articles and watching videos about this area and have never had a chance to come down here and really experience it. So I owe you a return favor. Maybe like some Lake Superior lake trout or something?
I would absolutely love to catch a lake trout through the ice.
That's how you barter right there. Because this is cool.
I've caught a lot of species of fish through the ice, but a lake trout is one I've never caught. I got a big burn I'm working right here. I was hoping he'd be twins to that one you just caught, and he just is not committing.
It's not warm by any means, but I'm telling you, we can manage this. This morning, I think it was probably about an hour and a half after sunrise. The wind somebody put the throttle down and it was ripping for a while. Not suitable for man or beast. I'm gonna take a quick look here. Really haven't changed the bait. These tungsten flies we're using, they just add a little feather and a little hackle to a tungsten jig. And that little bit of color, that little bit of bulk, it looks just real buggy under the water. And then we seal the deal with, when we talk about spikes, they're maggots. And you can get them in different colors. We're just mixing the colors up a little, a white one and a red one, 2 or 3 at the most. And that's just a real effective presentation in a body of water where, these crappies are huge, but we've kind of talked about it. They're not really minnow eaters, they're bug eaters. Not a lot of bait fish running around in this body of water. So instead of fishing spoons or slab wraps or ripping wraps, the fish are real negative to those presentations. You go to a more natural, subtle, buggy looking presentation, and even fish this size, midday like this, they will pull the trigger on an offering like that. Whew. That hand is in need of a glove.
In-Depth Outdoors, Spot on the Spot ID.
On today's Spot on the Spot ID, we're going to take kind of a general look at this Sand Hill region down in Nebraska. Now, as I mentioned, we did do our lodging in Valentine, and we drove down towards Merritt Reservoir to the south and west. And if you take a look at the map here on Google, the area to the west of Merritt Reservoir, it really looks like pillowy piles of sand. And to really get an understanding or an appreciation of how these little sandhill lakes are formed, you gotta take a look at the drone footage that we recorded during our time here in Nebraska. What you see is piles of sand that look like they were formed by wind action, piled up, behind it a low spot. Again, another pile and a low spot. And in those low spots, the water collects. So really it's the simplicity of these lakes. That's why we're not showing a contour map. These lakes are so basic. 8-foot depths max very often. There's almost no structure. There is no river channel in the lake that we fished. Basically, you have a shoreline where there's reed growth, and then the reed growth tapers off, and you get to just a flat basin area. What we did was we targeted how the fish moved in and out of the reeds throughout the day. First thing in the morning, those reeds, right on the edge, that was the hotbed of activity. As the sun got higher, typically what happens is those fish will slide out to deeper water. Now, the day we fished, the fish threw us a little bit of a curveball. The active fish actually went deeper into the reeds, and we were able to discover why once we started to pay attention to water clarity. Out over the basin, water was very clear. In and around those reeds, the water clarity was much reduced. So we theorized that the fish that were still active were staying in that dingier water, even though the sun was high overhead, and we were able to catch those fish, while the fish out in that really clear water with that real bright, hard sun penetration wanted nothing to do with eating bait. So if you're looking for a destination that's just perfect for this time of year, things get a little cold, snow piles up in Minnesota, it's about a 7.5-hour drive south and west to go experience some phenomenal fishing in the Sandhill region of Nebraska.
Brandel GM in Aiken, Minnesota's only haggle-free Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC dealer, is a proud sponsor of In-Depth Outdoors TV. Our Brandel value price ensures that you don't have to spend your entire day haggling to get a great deal. And every new vehicle comes with our exclusive gimmick-free lifetime powertrain warranty. Whether you're in need of service, sales, parts, or body shop repair, stop by our state-of-the-art facility in Aiken or visit us 24/7 at brandelgm.com.
Offering features not found on any other underwater viewing system, the Quest HD from Markham Technologies offers a vivid 7-inch widescreen display, Sony camera, and the ability to send video to a TV over HDMI in full 1080p. The Quest HD offers on-screen display of direction, temperature, and depth. This season, get your eyes below the ice and see what you've been missing on the big screen with a Quest HD underwater viewing system from Markham Technologies.
I mean, we're only, a few hours into this. We've had a phenomenal day. I mean, what's the best day you've ever had out here? Have you caught 20, 30 of these fish a guy?
Yeah, you can catch 20 or 30 pretty easy. And then you mix the big bluegills in with it. It's pretty special.
I'd say.
That's one thing we haven't. There he is.
That looks legit. You went back to your
color.
color.
I just was going to say, we haven't got a big gill yet. Here he is.
You did it. Well, maybe there's a reason to downsize just to get some gills, huh?
Absolutely. Beautiful fish.
I'd like to get one just like it. Fish. Feels decent. Come on up here, buddy. Oh, yeah. A nice midday crappie. You know what I think is just really surprising me is that when we came off this reed edge to start the day, we figured these fish would move out into the basin. And we did have some fish off the edge for about a half an hour, and then we lost them. We kept going out deeper, deeper, deeper. But where the fish were actually tucked up even shallower, tighter into these reeds. All that book learning a guy can do regarding fish, they don't read books.
They don't
just
read
do
books.
Things once in a while that just don't conform to kind of like common sense. Back you go.
Good fish, James.
One thing I have noticed is, it's not just my imagination, is the water clarity up shallow here is lower than out deep?
Yeah. But to me, I bet our fish numbers aren't going to be as good up here, but the fish we contact up here are going to be active.
Right.
Fish.
What you got, brother?
Better fish.
Did you get one of them basses?
I don't know what this is. Oh my gosh.
It is not. Look at
oh
that
my gosh.
People at home. Everything in here is huge.
Now that's a bluegill.
You need a Hemos to pop that out, or?
Go ahead.
It looks like it's just barely scrap hooked there.
Actually, oh my gosh.
Easy, easy. Man, this has just been an incredible day, bud. I mean, everything we've caught has been exceptional, and that is a kicker.
That was unexpected. That's a great fish.
fish. Good one. Look at this. Look
Oh,
at
my Lord.
this. Just an absolute giant. Whew. That is a gill.
Sun setting in the background.
Wow. What a day. That's a tenner. We have caught so many big bluegills and crappies today. I said I wanted one. I'm starting to run out of time. That sun's setting over there on the horizon, just in the nick of time. All right. That's my biggest bluegill this winter by far. I like how they lay across two big hands like that.
Absolutely.
See you later, Buster.
Well, end the day the way it started with cold handshakes.
Absolutely, that's good stuff, man. Just as the sun went over the horizon.
Yep, absolutely.
What an end to a phenomenal day. I cannot wait to come back here again.
It's a pretty special place.
This is miserable cold front fishing down here in Sandhill country.
Yeah, it can be really good when the weather cooperates.
I would imagine late ice, it's off the hook.
It can be very, very, very good.
All right, man. Well, you think you got time for one more, or we pack it in?
That's entirely up to you.
Let's do one more.
Let's do one more.
This is a big one. Come here.
Oh, there you go.
Like I said, we couldn't go home after catching that giant gill. We gotta have one more. Look at that. Absolute, just like a red paintbrush swipe on the flasher. Well, I can say I have never fished a body of water where you can get such big crappies and bluegills mixed. All right, gotta fire that guy back and see about maybe getting another one. We're definitely running out of light, but those last two fish, they've really come in aggressive, so obviously they're still seeing the bait good. So that brings us to the end of today's show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and if the winter's kind of dragging on you and you're looking for a destination where you're not going to be slogging through snow that's over your knees, you need to be thinking about areas like the Sandhill regions here in Nebraska. It was a phenomenal day out on the ice with a new co-host, Steve Gildersleeve. He did a phenomenal job. Can't wait to fish with this guy again. He's a real savvy angler and a lot of fun to fish with. So before we go, make sure you register for the current In-Depth Outdoors Dream Trip giveaway. Some lucky anglers going fishing up in Canada with me. So go to our homepage, In-Depth Outdoors, look for that Dream Trip giveaway icon, sponsored by Brandel GMC in Aitkin, Minnesota. Click on that, get yourself entered for a chance to fish and film with the crew here at In-Depth Outdoors. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next week.
For more info on the latest fish reports, gear recommendations, and hottest techniques, connect with us online at indepthoutdoors.com or follow us on Facebook at In-Depth Outdoors. And if you enjoyed today's show, be sure to let our sponsors know.